Time to regroup, and John Gibbons back on the bench as the Blue Jays are set to play game 2. And as expected, when you look at John's lineup for game 2, a lot of the extra players are in there. A lot of the regulars getting a game off here. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Blue Jays. Dalton Pompey will be in center. Cliff Pennington is in left field. Ezequiel Carrera will play in right field. Colabello's the DH. Matt Haig gets a start at first base. Tolley, of course, the knuckleball catcher, will catch R.A. Dickey. Munenori Kawasaki will start at third. Darwin Barney had a great first game. Picked up his first RBI of the season. And Jonathan Diaz just rejoined the team this afternoon, and he will get to start at shortstop, and they'll take on the big right-hander Kevin Gausman, making his 25th appearance of the season.
17th start of the season. This is his 42nd career major league start for Gausman. The big right-hander has got a great arm. He was a first-round draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles back in 2012 versus Toronto. 8 career games, 3 starts against him. The last time the Blue Jays saw Gausman, that was back in June at the Rogers Center. He had a no decision in that game, threw just 5 innings and gave up 4 hits. He's got an electric arm, and there are some that are saying that he is ready to take that next step in this pitching staff for the Baltimore Orioles, and he definitely has #1 stuff.
Anxious for the team to rebound after a disappointing game 1 for Baltimore. Baltimore lost game 1 15-2 and didn't play well at all. Here's the first pitch of game 2. It's in there for a strike to Dalton Pompey. Dalton Pompey for the season, 31 games, a 188 average. Gausman delivers strike 2.
2 pitches right on the outside corner at 93 miles an hour.
Pompey covers that outside pitch. Dalton, of course, is from Mississauga. 22 years old. He began the season playing in center field for the Blue Jays. Got into 17 games last year. Played a total of 31 games this season. Dalton went back down to the minor leagues and put together a pretty good season. Dalton's going to go play winter ball, and he needs the experience, obviously, trying to further his career.
I think that's a great idea. Go down there, play against some of those older ball players. They know a few tricks or two. Just keep playing the game of baseball. You can always make yourself better.
Pulled on the ground. Steve Pearce gets the start at first, and Gausman is there. Pompey is retired. Defensively, for the Orioles, a lot of their regulars are in the lineup in game 2. In the outfield, Nolan Reimold, Toronto Parr, and Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty started in Monday night's game in right field. Manny Machado is back at third. J.J. Hardy's up the middle. Jonathan Scope and Steve Pearce round out the infield defense. And behind the plate is the Gold Glove catcher, the All-Star Matt Wieters behind the plate for Kevin Gausman.
Matt Wieters was the DH in the first game, and he will catch this one. He is just coming back from Tommy John surgery. He hasn't played every day since he has been back. He will be a free agent at the end of the season.
Cliff Pennington, starting in left field, goes after the first pitch and grounds out to second base. 2 quick outs for Gausman here in the first. The Blue Jays wrapping up their division title with a terrific effort. Marcus Stroman set the tone from the mound, and Russell Martin got the offense started with an RBI double in the second, and they were off and running. Ezequiel Carrera, the right fielder.
That made things a lot easier, didn't it?
Early lead, that's for sure.
15 runs on the board instead of one of those 2-1 ball games, those nail biters. Ryan Goins, what a first game he had. Career high 5 hits. He was on base 6 times. We talked to him at the end of the game. He didn't want to talk about the game he had. He wanted to talk about the W.
3-pitch strikeout for Gausman. 3-up, 3-down. Blue Jays go quickly in their half of the first. R.A. Dickey will take the mound when we come back to Baltimore. situation, I'm sure he's really reflecting on a lot of different things, the emotional ups and downs. In his second stint with the Blue Jays, he is a division champ. Let's take a look at the Oriole lineup for Buck Showalter in Game 2. Nolan Reimold in left, Barra, Machado, then Davis. Davis is the DH in Game 2. Jonathan Scope, Matt Wieters back behind the plate. Steve Pearce is the first baseman. Ryan Flaherty is in right, and J.J. Hardy, a Gold Glover, at shortstop.
That is the lineup that R.A. Dickey will take on tonight as he gets ready for his 33rd start of the season. This is his first start versus Baltimore this year. He's 11-11 with a 4.0 earned run average. He's thrown 209 in the third innings. He picked up career win number 100 in his last game. He was excellent versus Tampa Bay. 7 innings. He gave up just 2 earned runs, and R.A. has been hot. He's won 8 of his last 9 decisions.
There's a first pitch strike to Nolan Reimold. Dickey 8-1 in the second half of the season. One of the better pitchers in all of baseball in the second half after the All-Star break. He's one of 6 pitchers with 8 wins. Jake Arrieta of the Cubs has 11 wins in the second half. Then Greinke and Kershaw both have 10. And then there are 4 pitchers, including David Price, with 9 wins in the second half of the season. Reimold cuts on it, misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. R.A. Dickey, for his career, as Pat mentioned, picked up his 100th career win last time out. He is 193. And Reimold fouls it off the catcher's glove. Josh Tolley back behind the plate.
Josh has not caught R.A. in his last couple of starts. That has gone to Russell Martin. So Josh, with his familiar first baseman's type glove, back behind the dish tonight.
And Dickey picks up his first strikeout of the night. Reimold is down on strikes. Take a look at the defense. You're going to see some different faces in the defensive alignment for the Blue Jays in Game 2. Cliff Pennington starts in left field. Pompey is in center. That's where he started the season, in center field with the Blue Jays. Ezequiel Carrera is in right field. Kawasaki, Diaz, Barney, and Matt Haig across the infield. And behind the plate, Josh Tolley for his battery mate, R.A. Dickey.
Good pitch. Jonathan Diaz just called up today. Thought they might need a little bit of reinforcement in the middle of the diamond, so Jonathan will get the start at shortstop. He is an excellent fielder. Spent most of the season in Buffalo this year.
Ball on a strike to Gerardo Parra. He fouls that one back. One and 2 to Parra. That's a foul ball. Kevin Pillar enjoying Game 2 on the bench as Dickey racks up his second strikeout of the game.
Well, R.A. Dickey, you mentioned it, Buck, right at the top of the telecast here, how he has been on a nice little hot streak. At the break, he was 3-10 with an ERA approaching 5. Since then, look at those sterling numbers, 8-1 with a 295 earned run average, and it all has to do with the knuckleball. He was not very consistent within the strike zone the first half of this season. Since then, he has made some adjustments. The knuckleball has stayed in the strike zone, and he's been getting fantastic results.
Well, we mentioned R.A. Dickey. He is enjoying this great season with the Blue Jays, working to Manny Machado. Dickey in his 3rd season in Toronto. That's fouled out of play. It's 1 and 2. Of course, Dickey, like so many of his teammates, never enjoyed the opportunity to go to the postseason. You can bet he appreciates it after the road he's traveled. He's now 40 years old.
We got lots of shots of him at the end of game number 1 when the Blue Jays knew that they were going to clinch the divisions, and R.A. looked as happy as anybody.
He was a former first-round pick of the Texas Rangers way back in '96. Then he had to make the transition from conventional pitcher to a knuckleball pitcher, and that development took quite a while. He began that process in 2005 while a member of the Texas Rangers, and didn't see the fruits of his labors until 2012 when he won the National League Cy Young Award. He went 20-6 for the Mets in 2012. He won the Cy Young. He was an all-star. And now he is going to the postseason for his first time in his career. Hot shot. Jonathan Diaz is a wizard with the glove, and he makes a terrific play to take a hit away from Manny Machado. You don't lose a thing with Jonathan Diaz. It's short. That ball was headed to left field. Diaz goes to his knees, pops up, and throws a strike to end the bottom of the first.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland, just a few blocks away from Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and that's where the Blue Jays celebrate their 2012 Division Championship. Justin Smoak, a first-year Blue Jay player, enjoying the opportunity to go to the postseason. This is Chris Colabello. Of course, Colabello, his story has been well documented. He didn't start professional baseball until 2005 when he was playing for Worcester in the Canadian American Independent League. And he stayed with it, and now he gets to go to his first postseason with the Toronto Blue Jays. He flies out to center field for the first out here in the second. But there are so many stories like Smoak and Colabello. They've combined to do a terrific job over at first base. Offensively, they put up some of the best numbers in baseball.
You know, they just came in here and they just started doing their job. They didn't say much. They just day in and day out came to the ballpark, didn't cause any problems or waves or anything like that. They just came out here and just performed. And those are the kind of individuals, those two guys that they picked up in the offseason, those are the kind of guys, the examples that Alex Anthopoulos was talking about in between the ball game. Those are the kind of players he wanted to bring into this organization, and they have flourished here.
Matt Haig spent most of the season in AAA Buffalo, where he earned the MVP award in the International League. In Buffalo, he had .338 with 11 home runs and 92 RBIs. He also had 33 doubles. A terrific season in AAA. He spent some time in the major leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates, parts of 2012 and 2014 seasons. And he's getting a start here in game 2 at first base. Gausman strikes him out. That's 2 strikeouts for Kevin Gausman.
Show you why they think this kid is going to be able to take it to the next level. He's got an outstanding split finger fastball that he can finish off batters with. But if he needs to reach back for a little more, that time he elevates the fastball to pick up the strikeout. Got a wonderful arm.
You would think that they would just stick with him and give him an opportunity to develop in the majors.
Yes, that is a question that I posed to some of the Baltimore Orioles people, and they just shook their head and said, we're not real sure. He was bouncing up and down this season from the big league club to the AAA club.
Sooner or later, just got to let the young man develop in the majors. That's where he's going to learn the most about pitching. He's done everything he wants in the minor leagues. 0-2 to Josh Thole, the catcher. Strikeouts. He tied 6 straight so far in this ball game. 3 strikeouts in total. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score in Baltimore. The rest of the league in the second half, and had a lot to do with their good starting pitching.
Look at some of these here earned run averages in the second half. David Price, outstanding. Marco Estrada under 3 at 2.78, and R.A. Dickey, another one that is under 3. You get good starting pitching like that, play good defense, have a solid bullpen, and hit the way the Blue Jays hit, and you can see why they have put together one heck of a record in the second half. It all starts on the mound, and the Blue Jays have really stepped up their game. It's an interesting contrast also. David Price comes in with his 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Then you've got the knuckleball in R.A. Dickey. And then the off-speed pitcher in Estrada. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's a great combination of pitches for a potential postseason rotation. That's the line right to Matt Haig. Chris Davis is retired on the line drive to first.
Well, what it does to batters when you can throw those types of pitchers out there is you can't get used to one speed or one type of ball coming in. That's why you like to fill up your starting rotation with right-handers and left-handers, hard throwers, soft tossers. So when you get into series, a team it just doesn't have to watch or react to the same pitch over and over again.
Jonathan Scope, the young second baseman. Scope in 1-for-3 in game 1. And he hooks this one foul down the left side. Schoop missed significant part of this season with a knee injury. He injured himself early in the season running up the first baseline. Schoop is just 23 years old. He'll turn 24 in October. He hits this ball to right. Carrera is there, and at the edge of the warning track makes the catch. Matt Wieters, the switch hitting catcher, was the DH in game 1. Wieters had a double in the 9th inning off of Troy Hawkins, who came in to score the second Oriole run in the 9th. Finished up 1 for 3 with a walk. Wieters is going to be a free agent, and Pat, you talked about a lot of decisions. Chris Davis is a potential free agent. Matt Wieters as well. What kind of team will this be next year? Wieters singles to center with 2 outs.
Boy, that's a great question for the Baltimore Orioles. They lost 2 big bats from last year's team, and they have a potential to lose a couple of other bats this next offseason. Chris Davis is a free agent. Matt Wieters is a free agent. Knuckleball down and away, and Wieters has been swinging a hot bat. My guess is that they will sign one of them. Either Davis or Wieters.
It's very difficult as a player when you get this close to free agency to sign with your existing club. It's so tempting to test the market. I mean, the dollars are flying around in record numbers. And just a couple of weeks, and a week after the World Series, you can file for free agency.
I think teams have to understand that that's the right that the players have earned. And if you file for free agents, it doesn't mean that you're leaving for free agency. Sometimes teams get so upset when players file that they don't even offer a contract.
That's possibly what happened with Nick Markakis last year after 9 seasons with the Orioles. He filed for free agency, and the Orioles never got back to him. He wanted to stay here in Baltimore. He made his home here. Steve Pearce strikes out. R.A. Dickey gives up a 2-out single to Matt Wieters, but nothing more. Dickey has 3 strikeouts through 2 innings.
Until after game 2, we can give you a little taste of what the players will be wearing. I have one of these amazing American League East Division champion hats, and Hazel here is holding up the t-shirts that they will be wearing. Guys, I imagine that these hats and shirts are going to be very, very wet and smelly of champagne and beer by the end of the night. But for all the fans, I imagine these will also be available on J-Shop online, and they are going to sell fast. Buck?
Yeah, Barry, I think the celebration might be tempered a bit now as they've had an opportunity to realize that they're going to the postseason and play in the Division Championship Series. And It's almost kind of anticlimactic after you win and now you've had a celebration and you play another game, and it doesn't seem like you have that same edge as you would had you had the opportunity to run straight off the field.
I want to know, hey Barry, can you score some of those shirts? Those are pretty sweet. Maybe head into that clubhouse and snatch a couple for the booth.
Munenori Kawasaki starting at third, and he strikes out on 3 pitches. Kevin Gausman looks like he's trying to make a statement here in game 2.
He's doing a pretty good job. That's 4 strikeouts out of the last 5 batters that the Blue Jays have sent up there.
Josh Donaldson can absolutely kick back and relax after another terrific game. And Donaldson, what a season he has put together. He had an RBI double in the 5th. Now in Barney, he had a good game 1. Now he gets the first hit off of Kevin Gausman. The Blue Jays are 92-65. Kansas City 90-67. Kansas City plays Chicago for 2 more games in Chicago. Edinson Volquez against Jose Quintana tonight, and then Thursday Chris Medlin against John Danks. And if you're wondering, John Danks has a 10-2 record for his career against the Royals.
John Gibbons was talking about that the other day, that there's still something to play for even when they wrap up the division.
Jonathan Diaz goes after that first pitch. Jonathan, he's got a World Series ring. He's a member of the Boston Red Sox. In 2013, got up and played in a game and had an opportunity to spend some time with the Red Sox. Jonathan was originally drafted by the Blue Jays in 2006 at the University or North Carolina State University. Fouls that one back. Jonathan was with the Blue Jays earlier for a brief period. 4 games, a total of 5 at bats.
Tell you, he's making the most of his start here tonight, isn't he? Going up there, swinging away against Gausman.
Jonathan played all year in AAA Buffalo, with .223 for the season. Darwin Barney at first. He's the first Blue Jays base runner. He reaches with 1 out here in the 3rd. As a shot to right, Flaherty is there. He will make the grab. Back to the top of the order. It'll be Dalton Pompey, who he's had an impact here in September, and because he was so successful as a pinch runner, he might have played his way onto the postseason roster.
I think he has. He becomes a weapon off that bench. Jimmy again was talking about that the other day, that there are a few guys on this team that they might have to pinch run for. And he's a weapon because he's got those long strides. He's very quick. He's got very good instincts when he's on the bases, and he's fast. He broke the other day, if you remember, the game 1 in this series here. It was tied late in the game. He came in to pinch run, and he was on third base when Justin Smoke hit that ground ball to the first baseman. I had a chance to watch him, and he got a great break off of third base, and there was really no play with the infield in. The first baseman came home. There's really no chance to get him. Great instincts, great read, and he's very fast. And I think you might see him on the playoff roster.
Well, and 2, get him into a situation where he has to pinch run. Say he has to pinch run in the 6th inning. You can leave him into the game because he's a switch hitter. He's a fine defensive player, and he's never been thrown out in steal attempts. He is 6 for 6 in his brief major league time. But certainly the month he has spent here in the big leagues with the Blue Jays, getting an opportunity to see them clinch and see these great ball players put together in the second half of the season. It's got to be a benefit for him as a young player.
It's just the next step, I think. Remember last September when the Blue Jays brought up like 6 of their best prospects to be around the major league team last year, and the learning experience that they got last September? Now they're bringing up their young players to experience winning and what it takes to win.
Page strikes out. Blue Jays get their first hit. Gausman has 5 strikeouts. But in game 1, it was all about the Blue Jays. They wrap up the division title. They are champs of the AL East for the first time since 1993.
North rivals square off at Heinz Field. It is Michael Vick of the Steelers taking on Joe Flacco and the Ravens tomorrow on Sportsnet 1 and City. Tabby, I've got the hat and I've got the T-shirt. I put it in that hiding spot I told you about. You know where to find it after the game.
Oh, okay.
It's all yours. It's all yours.
Did you take care of the whole booth up here?
Yeah, I got lots. I got lots.
Thank you, Barry.
Good job, Barry Davis. This is Ryan Flaherty, the right fielder. The score bottom of the 3rd inning. R.A. Dickey with 3 strikeouts. Both teams with 1 hit. That's it. You know, we mentioned all the players and all the coaches and front office, but the coaches, to me, those are the guys that probably log the most time of anybody in their daily preparation to get ready for the games. And they have 2 hitting coaches, and I don't know how many hours a day they put in, but they should be paid by the hour, that's for sure.
If they did, they'd make $1 million a year, because I'll tell you, it's not just during batting practice when you see them out on the field. It's all the prep work. Heck, you and I are sitting on the charter when we're going from city to city, and we see Brooke Jacoby come back and start working on that series while they're on the plane as we head to the next city.
Yep, looking at video, getting reports, and finding out how he can set up his offense. Josh Tolley out from behind the plate makes a nice throw to Matt Haig. Flaherty's return.
Help is only 140 million miles away. The Martian. In theaters, October 2nd.
Turned out to be a nice evening here in Baltimore. Certainly it's especially nice for the Toronto Blue Jays. The regulars are enjoying their time off. They're sitting in the dugout watching the ball game. J.J. Hardy did not play in game 1. R.A. Dickey's had that good knuckleball entire second half. It's been a very good pitch for him.
It's been great for him. That is a good sign right there. Seeing Devin Travis up here getting a chance to be around the club when they won. I mean, he was a big part of what this team was in April.
Boy, he sure was. He was the American League Rookie of the Month for the month of April. He actually served as the leadoff man when Reyes was injured early in the season.
And it's unfortunate that he couldn't join in the boys for the second half here because of that injury. Remember, he got hurt the day Troy Tulowitzki got here. He homered in that Philly game and then hurt his shoulder. Tulowitzki came in the next day to play.
Hardy lifts it into center. Pompey backing up, makes the catch. 2 down.
But you know what that did? His injury did is it opened up the door for Ryan Goins, and he ran through that door.
Boy, isn't that interesting? And you've got to be prepared because you never know when your opportunity is going to present itself. And when Goins got the chance to play every day, he really put things together. Troy Tulowitzki will more than likely leave tomorrow to go to Florida, down to Dunedin to get some at-bats against live pitching. And there is a weather concern, obviously. That's why the game has been changed from a 7:05 start tomorrow to a 12 o'clock start. The Hurricane Joaquin out in the Atlantic, and we're starting to feel the effects of it here in Baltimore.
So we'll see if we can get that one in, but I bet you we see Troy play a couple of games in Tampa. Get him on his feet, get him out on the field, play shortstop, maybe get an at-bat or two a game, so they can make some decisions about the playoff roster.
Oh, nice play by Dickey. He's a terrific defender. He takes a hit away from Nolan Reimold. R.A. Dickey retires the side in order. We'll go to the fourth. No score. Dickey flashing that Gold Glove form to retire Nolan Reimold.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome back to Baltimore, Maryland, as we move to the fourth inning. No score in this ball game. And in case you're just joining us, where have you been? Blue Jays won the opener 15-2 to clinch the AL East championship. Cliff Pennington goes after the first pitch. Lots of interesting games going around baseball. The Yankees are trailing the Boston Red Sox again. Masahiro Tanaka against Wade Miley in that matchup. And the Yankees, they're 3 games up in that first wild card spot. But things get kind of interesting for the rest of the teams in that wild card race. You look at Minnesota, they won in game 1 of their doubleheader. They beat Cleveland 7-1 in Cleveland. And now the Yankees 86-71, Minnesota 82-75, so they have gained a half a game. They are 1 game out of the second wild card spot. Pennington strikes out. Gosman's got that heater working.
Minnesota
strikeouts.
Minnesota's losing in game 2. They're getting shut out by the Indians in game number 2. I mean, they got to run the table, don't they? They have a shot. This is Gosman as he powers up fastball by Pennington.
Mike Pelfrey and Cody Anderson, the starting pitchers in that game. Minnesota sends Pelfrey to the mound against Cody Anderson. Ezequiel Carrera pumps it out of play.
Here's another team that I think needs to run the table if they want to get into the playoffs. The Houston Astros.
Houston has fallen out of that front-running spot in the West. They've fallen down to 3rd. They're behind the Angels now. And they are a half game out of the second wild card spot. And they have lost quite a bit lately. They are 83-75. The Angels, meantime, have won 7 straight. And they have done it with injuries. They have lost Houston Street and Joe Smith, their closer and setup man. But Troy Hawkins enjoying some privilege. The reliever is in the dugout.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw Osuna in the dugout. I guess they were not on call. They're going to be off in the second game. I imagine Brett Cecil is in the dugout or in the clubhouse also.
Yeah, those guys have had some tense innings down the stretch. Cecil, Sanchez, Osuna. The Blue Jays, after game 1, made some changes to their pitching rotation, according to Alex Anthopoulos. Moving David Price to Saturday, so he doesn't have that long gap between his final regular season start and his first start, which everybody anticipates to be on Thursday the 8th.
Thursday, so you count back 5 days, and he will get some work in Tampa.
Another strikeout.
I would imagine then that Stroman would pitch a little bit on Sunday, which makes a lot of sense because if they're lining him up to pitch game number 2, he would have to get some work on Sunday.
Yeah, and obviously the Blue Jays will be home for games 1 and 2, Thursday and Friday, the 8th and 9th, in the division series. And nobody knows who they're going to play yet. It depends on whether or not they're the best overall team in the American League. Then they would play the winner of the wild card game. And right now we don't even know who the wild card teams are.
And it probably won't get sorted out until Sunday, maybe even Monday. I mean, if there's a game 163, that's going on Monday, right?
And they could be tied for the wild card berth for 1 or 2 of the wild card spots. It could be a lot of ramifications yet. But you would imagine if indeed they are going to go Price and Stroman in 1 and 2, then Estrada and Dickey would be, you would think, 3 and 4, and then maybe Mark Burley might be the odd man out. That would be a tough thing, but I think Burley understands the situation. Another thing that's going to be interesting is how they set up their bullpen. How many pitchers do you take? You take 4 starters, take 7 relievers, an 11-man pitching staff to get the extra position play.
Those are all the decisions that the front office and the brass are going to have to talk about.
Colorado called out on strikes. Gosman strikes out the side in the 4th. Kevin Gosman has 8 strikeouts through 4 innings.
Club, new for 2016. Fans across Canada will have the opportunity to be part of My Blue Jays. You can earn points throughout the 2016 season to redeem for exciting experiences and memorabilia. Go to bluejays.com/MyBlueJays for more details. I guess they should now call it the My American League East Champion Blue Jays, Buck.
Well, that's one title for now. And they hope to add 2 more titles before it's all said and done. Parr struck out in the first. Hits this one on the ground. Barney is there. I tell you what, we have seen Darwin Barney for just a short period of time. He can really play second.
Soft hands. The ball's on the ground. It's going to be an out. That's just the feeling you get when you watch it from where we watch it night after night with this guy. He's in a right spot. Quick feet. Very sure hands. Very sure hands.
Manny Machado was robbed of a base hit by the shortstop Jonathan Diaz. He pulled one on the ground sharply in the hole at short. Diaz made a fine play.
He was robbed of a hit in game number 1, if you remember that one, by Darwin Barney at second base. He lined one back through the middle, and Darwin got up, took away a hit from Manny.
This is in the air. It's a breezy night. That ball's being blown all over the place, and Carrera, the right fielder, makes the catch. Carrera starting in right. Everybody is anxious to finish up on a positive note. R.A. Dickey's no different. He is 11-11 for his season. You talk about the pitching changes. We mentioned that Price will go on Saturday against Tampa Bay in game 2 of that 3-game series. And Marcus Stroman is scheduled to pitch on Sunday. Nice play by Matt Hagan. He has played third base a lot. He's played some first base, and he takes a hit away from Chris Davis. We have played 4 innings here in Baltimore. It's a
HD with MLB.TV. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Every night on every device. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. What a fantastic shot that is to see John Gibbons greeting each and every one of his players, Buck.
Well, everybody has contributed to this effort, and Gibby is very appreciative of everybody that has helped out. This is Matt Haig, who made a nice defensive play to rob Chris Davis of a hit. Davis has lined out twice to Haig so far. You know, we mentioned about Price moving up, and then there seems to be some question as to who's going to pitch tomorrow. Tomorrow's game will be moved up. It'll be a 12 start, and there's a base hit for Matt Haig. That's the second hit for the Blue Jays, the leadoff single here in the 5th.
They have some options for tomorrow night's game. It's not going to be Price. It's not going to be Stroman. It's not going to be Dickey. It's not going to be Estrada. Might we see Drew Hutchison come out of the bullpen?
Yeah. And certainly there are enough bullpen arms where you can patch things together. But you don't want to just take the game for granted. You'd like to win the game, obviously.
Sure. They're still playing for something, right?
Drew Hutchison has pitched well against the Orioles in the past. It would be a decent matchup for sure. This is the catcher, Josh Tolley. The Blue Jays bullpen have a new lefty. Well, maybe not for tonight, but David Price getting a different perspective. You know, he started his big league career in the postseason working out the bullpen. And then he picked up a save and a win in relief before he ever started the game in the big leagues.
Just getting a little different perspective out of the ball game.
And Aaron Sanchez.
Out in the bullpen.
Well, I tell you what, he is much better than advertised, and he was advertised as a first-class teammate. He has been some kind of teammate since he's joined this ball club. And he is absolutely riveted on every one of his teammates and their success. He wants everybody to perform well. Tolley strikes out, one down here in the 5th.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Kevin Gausman has just tied his career high. He's established a career high with 9 strikeouts. He had 8 before twice, and this is his career high 9 strikeouts in just 4 1/3.
Yeah, we're in the 5th inning. He's already had 9 punch outs. He is dotting the I with that fastball tonight, isn't he?
Well, he's always had a good arm. We have seen glimpses of this in the past. Kawasaki bunts it up the third base line. Gausman fumbled it, and he still has time to get Kawasaki. Bang, bang at first, 2 down.
While we have a chance, let's take a look at the scouting report. It looks like John Gibbons might want to take a look at this one. But let's look at the scouting report for Kevin Gausman. I told you he was a #1 pick from LSU with great stuff. Look at the fastball, 95 miles an hour. He's going to use that 71% of the time. The splitter's been devastating tonight. He's gotten a lot of swing and misses with that. A slider, a curveball, and a changeup. And I think all he needs is just to polish, to finish off his development as a pitcher. When you watch him, it's free and it's easy. The ball comes out of his hands beautifully. That changeup, they're hit 167 against it. The splitter, 176.
Darwin Barney. Barney has one of the 2 Blue Jay hits. He got the first hit back in the 3rd with 1 out, single to right. Darwin had an RBI single in the 9th of game 1. Blue Jays scored 5 runs on 6 hits in the 9th inning. Up the middle, that may have been another splitter. J.J. Hardy unloads in a hurry. The Blue Jays are done in their half of the fifth. They get a leadoff single, but they strand a base runner. Still no score here in Baltimore.
Sportsnet app downloaded. You can keep up to speed with everything Blue Jays. Don't miss a pitch with our in-depth live game tracker. Plus, the latest news, videos, and interviews on Canada's team. Download the Sportsnet app today. And right now, guys, you can watch all the interviews we did on the field. After the game, you can read some great articles by Shai Davidi and just see everything that we've captured as the Blue Jays clinched in Game 1.
Make sure you check out that Sportsnet app, and certainly going to serve you very well throughout the entire postseason. Jonathan Scope, second baseman, was after that first pitch. Scope flied out to right his first time. No score in this game. Both pitchers, Kevin Gausman and R.A. Dickey, have been Munenori Kawasaki snares the line drive, and the Orioles have the atom balls working.
Hitting the ball right at him. Chris Davis finished off the fourth inning. Last inning with a line drive to the first baseman, Matt Haig, and now Scope starts the fifth inning with a line drive right at the third baseman, and R.A. Dickey says, "Get up," just like that. And he does. Saves a base hit.
Matt Wieters goes after the first pitch and flies out to Dalton Pompey. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Edinson Volquez and Quintana, the left-hander, Jose Quintana, pitching for the White Sox. And they'll play Thursday, final game in that series in Chicago.
Royals have one hit. One hit. White Sox have 6.
Boy, everybody's got their first pitch approach on. Steve Pierce goes after the first pitch and lines into right. Roberto Osuna kicking back in the dugout. What a season he has had. The 20-year-old closer picked up his 20th save here on Monday night.
Where would the Blue Jays be without Roberto Osuna?
There are so many of those stories up and down this roster when you think about the contribution of Osuna and Sanchez when Sanchez came back to join the bullpen. Osuna has never wavered in his confidence, never shied away from any pressure.
He made the team out of spring training, Roberto Osuna. but they really didn't have a defined role for him. He was in the bullpen. He wasn't a setup man. He wasn't a closer. He wasn't a long man. He was pitch out of the bullpen. Let's see what you got. We'll keep your innings down. And about halfway through the season, he became the closer.
Ryan Flaherty hits into the fourth out. R.A. Dickey with 5 shutout innings. Game 1. Troy Hawkins, a veteran, wrapped it up. The front office enjoyed it. Marcus Stroman improves to 4-0. Everybody's celebrating their division title.
Baseball from members of the Major League staff, minor league coaches, and alumni. Attend the Blue Jays National Coaching Clinic January 8th through 10th at Rogers Center. Learn baseball tips and drills that you can take back to your local baseball association. Go to bluejays.com/baseball academy. And Buck, on days like this, how can you forget guys like Pete Walker, Brooke Jacoby, Louis Rivera? So many guys that have been a part of this Blue Jays staff that have really helped them get to where they are.
Absolutely. The coaches put in a lot of long hours, long days. It starts way back in spring training when they put together the spring training plan. Eric Owens and Dane Johnson.
Dane Johnson. That's what I was just going to say. Dane Johnson out in that bullpen. You got to give him a lot of credit. He coached and was in charge of a lot of these young pitchers in the minor leagues that came up through the system.
Yeah, he was the pitching coordinator in the minor leagues for a long time and has seen these youngsters grow into men and become division champs. Right back to the mound. Jonathan Diaz taps out to Kevin Gausman, 1 down.
The all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Brian Tepera starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. There is Dane Johnson. We mentioned his contribution. He's the bullpen coach in his first year with the Blue Jays. He has been a long-time organizational instructor. Pompey drops down a beauty. No throw for Matt Wieters as Dalton Pompey continues to make his case to make the postseason roster.
Yeah, and using his legs that time. That was a beautiful bunt right there. Picked on a great pitch from Gausman. Got it down. You got to place this ball far enough away from the catcher and the pitcher where you can use the great speed to beat it out. Now you got to figure that he's going to be taking off here.
If he gets a jump, he will be going. Cliff Pennington playing in left field. Outside. We mentioned Pompey is 5 for 5 this season in stolen bases. He's doing a good job as he's entered the games as a pinch runner. Ball and a strike to Cliff Pennington. Pennington has gone 0 for 2. Blue Jays have 3 hits. The Orioles have 2.
They might try something right here. 2-1 with 1 out. Looked like Dalton might have shortened up his lead on that last pitch. After the pickoff attempt by Gausman was pretty quick. Now he's out there like he's ready to steal.
Not running. Cut on and missed by Pennington. Two and two, no score. We're in the 6th. I want to remind you, after the conclusion of this game, we will have extended coverage of the celebration to acknowledge the division championship. That'll take place after this ball game. We'll have Barry Davis, Hazel May. They'll have interviews. They'll have the celebration. They'll be inside the Blue Jays locker room to bring it all to you. So make sure you stay tuned after this game for that coverage. Two balls and 2 strikes. There goes Pompey. The ball is fouled into the seats, out of play. He got a good jump that time.
Yeah, he did. He got a good read on Gausman and Wieters. I think Matt Wieters had a feel like he might be stealing. You saw him give that fastball away, giving him a little bit better chance to try and throw him out. Speed at first base is going to give those hitters a lot of times an extra fastball or 2. Good time to go now. Looks like they're going to throw a breaking ball.
Not running. Ground ball. Scope shovels quickly to Hardy, who unloads back to first in time. The 4-6-3 double play that ends the top half of the 6th. Gausman spinning a gem just like R.A. Dickey. No runs on 2 hits, didn't walk about it and struck out 3. Now it's over to the bullpen. Ryan Tepera will be first one out, his 30th appearance. Well, it's a scoreless game, and John Gibbons is sitting back. I'm sure he's reflecting on everything that has happened here this afternoon. And he has been very reluctant to acknowledge the fact that they were going to win the division, and he waited until this afternoon to really celebrate. But what a good job John Gibbons has done with this ball club this season.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy through and through. He didn't want to talk about winning the division. He didn't want to talk about the playoffs until it was official that they had won the division. That's the most relaxed that we have seen Gibby all season long right there. That shot right there. But those are some pretty pictures of Gibby. And remember when he was first hired by Alex Anthopoulos? Everybody said, what? Well, he's got a division championship team. He has guided them to that. So kudos to Alex Anthopoulos bringing John Gibbons back.
Well, he and Alex Anthopoulos have a very good relationship, and you know that's what you have to have in that GM manager situation. And you know, John Gibbons, more experienced than Alex, of course, been around the game a lot longer, and he was making suggestions to Alex about the makeup of the team. And it, you know, took a while for Alex to really buy into it, but they had discussions about players over the last couple of years. This guy doesn't fit, this guy fits, this guy doesn't fit, and they went back and forth, and boy, oh boy, did they get on the same page this year.
It becomes a teamwork type of thing with the manager and the general manager. I mean, they have to respect each other, they have to work together, and they have to be one. I think if you're ready to put the team together, the general manager goes out and gets the players. He's got to go out and manage them. So he has to have a say in who he wants on his roster.
Tepera strikes out J.J. Hardy first up. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, that's going to be an interesting matchup. They finish up with Oakland tonight. Barry Zito and Garrett Richards, the starters in that game. And then they go down to Texas. A 4-game head-to-head matchup with the Texas Rangers. Derek Holland will open up for the Rangers against Andrew Heaney. Martin Perez, Jared Weaver on Friday. Colby Lewis, Hector Santiago on Saturday. And then Cole Hamels will start on Sunday for the Rangers. Matt Shoemaker was scheduled to start, but he has been scratched for the rest of the season. Angels making that announcement today.
An injury, and I was watching their broadcast last night. I'm just interested to see what the Angels were doing, and there was some talk that maybe Garrett Richards comes back on 3 days rest if they need him on that Sunday to get into the playoffs. Garrett is pitching in tonight's ball game.
He has pitched 6 innings of 2-hit ball. He's allowed 3 runs, but they're all unearned runs. He struck out 7, and Richards has thrown 108 pitches in 6 innings. You do unusual things when there's such a large pot of gold at the end of that rainbow.
Yeah, you're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about today. What can I do today to win the ball game?
Raimo gets jammed. Kawasaki from third, throws on the run in time. Nice scoop at first by Matt Haig. Blue Jays have been flashing the leather all game long.
Seen great plays by Haig. And now Kawasaki comes in, and Haig digs it out. Watch him step right to the ball and stay down. The glove goes down and stays down. Here comes Munenori coming in. He cut a line drive, and now he finishes off the second out here in the 6th.
Roberto Parra has struck out and grounded out. He bunts one up the third baseline, but he bunts it into foul ground. Parrott, he might be pitching for his postseason berth as well. He's done a nice job for the Blue Jays. We mentioned the possibility. We don't have any information about whether or not they're going to definitively go with 7-man bullpen. That's inside the clubhouse as they're getting prepared for what they anticipate to be a raucous celebration acknowledging the division championship. But we don't know what the makeup is going to be. You anticipate 4 starters, 11 total with 7 relievers.
Freddie Tyler getting his clubhouse. That is the visiting clubhouse man here in Baltimore, getting the clubhouse ready as they hang up the plastic to protect the equipment and clothing of the players. As there's going to be a celebration after this one.
Cliff Pennington, the left fielder, backing up a few steps. He makes the catch, and Tepera has a good first inning tonight. He retires the side in order, and everything is on ice in the clubhouse. The Blue Jays anxious for a full-blown celebration.
Occasions, and now you have a chance to go there. It is Canada's official team shop for your Eastern Division winning Toronto Blue Jays, bringing together the largest selection of Blue Jays products anywhere. You can also visit us online at jshop.ca, and the hat and t-shirt we showed you, well, I can bet you they will be available at J-Shop. In fact, guys, I received a tweet from somebody today who said after game 1 that they already were in J-Shop buying some of this postseason gear that has been shipped in already, so that's great news.
You can bet there's going to be a steady stream of new merchandise floating into Jay's shop, both at the ballpark and at Eaton Center. And obviously, you won't be able to get yours at the ballpark until next week. But at Eaton Center, you can go down and check out that Jay's shop and check out all the new postseason uniforms, hats, shirts, things to buy.
You sound like you've shopped there before.
I know where it is. Ezequiel Carrera fouls it straight back. We've made it this long without getting a foul ball in our booth. We don't need one now.
Yeah, that one was close.
There's a drive to deep center. This ball is carrying, and it's going to be off the warning track, bouncing over the fence for a ground rule double. Ezequiel Carrera put a charge in it and hit it deep to center field. Power was on the run, but that ball kept carrying.
He was playing very shallow, Gerardo Parra, in center field. Very shallow for Carrera. He puts a charge into it, and unfortunately for the Blue Jays, it bounces on the warning track and out of play, or Carrera's got a triple. Here's Parra. He's really not sure where that ball is, but if that stays in the ballpark, hits against that wall and comes back, I think Carrera's going to be on third base. The Blue Jays catch an unlucky break as it bounces out of play for a ground rule double.
His 7th double of the season. Chris Colabello batting with nobody out. Colabello gets jammed and fouls it off. Jose Bautista, Kevin Pillar, Troy Tulowitzki enjoying a nice relaxed situation. Bautista delivered his 40th home run of the season in the 9th inning, and what a terrific season he has put together. 29 doubles, 3 triples, 40 home runs, and 112 driven in. A complete season. Colabello drives this one down the right side. It's slicing foul. Deep down in that right field corner. Bautista, he's second to Donaldson in RBIs with 112. He is second in runs scored with 106. And he is right there in all the offensive categories once again. He leads the league in walks. He walked twice more. He now has 107 walks for the season. So he's scored 100 runs, driven in 100 runs, and walked 100 times.
And made 2 of the best throws that we have seen. Remember that back at Rogers Center, the last homestand?
In the Yankee series, he made 2 of the best throws in key situations that we have seen. He's been plagued by that balky shoulder most of the season, but he said every once in a while you got to unload it. Colabello behind 0-2. It's a high fly ball into center. Potter with a long run. He breaks it down and makes the catch. One out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Boy, Texas, they have really turned things on, and Mike Napoli back in that situation, as Jamie mentioned, where he had so much success earlier after the Blue Jays traded him to Texas.
Playing left field.
He's been playing left field quite a bit lately, and he had never done that before his return to Texas.
He's there tonight. 1 with a 2-run home run. Matt Boyd doesn't have it working at all for Detroit.
Now, he is 0-2 already against the Texas Rangers, looking to go 0-3. Giovanni Gallardo has been pitching very well. Look out. The ball is ripped into the seats. And when Encarnacion, he too, like Bautista, homered in the first game of this doubleheader. He had a 2-run home run in the 7th, and with a trio of Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion, the best in the business. And I don't care who you are, who you throw at them in the postseason, you're going to make a mistake to one of them at some point.
Some teams have 1 guy in the middle of their lineup. Some teams have 2 guys that you have to get, but there's not a lot of teams with 3 guys like the Blue Jays can talk about. And you can just see, excuse me, Buck, on pitchers trying to get through those 3 guys. It just wears them down. Then after them, you got Tulowitzki and Smoke and Martin and Colabello at times. I mean, it's a really tough lineup to work through.
Matt Haig lifts a high pop into shallow left field. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, goes back. Carrera front. Forgot and the outs there were, and he gets doubled off. Ezequiel Carrera hit a ground rule double to start the inning, but he forgets how many outs there are, and he ends it by running into a double play. Been a long day, and sometimes you lose your concentration. Luis Rivera says you got to go back. There's only 1 out. Hardy completes the double play.
cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Lots of Blue Jay fans have been able to celebrate 800 kilometers from Baltimore. That's where they started this trek. The Blue Jays will play a final game here tomorrow afternoon. The game has been changed from a 7 p.m. start to 12 noon. So make sure you make that scheduling note. We got to remind you that after the conclusion of this game, too, of this doubleheader, we'll have extended coverage to cover the celebration inside the Blue Jays locker room. Hazel May and Barry Davis will have interviews. They'll talk to players, coaches, and chronicle all of the festivities inside the Blue Jays locker room coming up right after this game. The Blue Jays have won the division with their win in Game 1, but they had to temper their celebration because Game 2 started 30 minutes after the end of Game 1.
Should be a lot of fun. Just to listen to the guys and let them tell their story about this season.
Well, you play your whole career anticipating a chance to go to the World Series, and you get close maybe once or twice, or maybe you never have, and now that dream is realized. There's a deep drive to center. Pompey is back, and this ball is gone. Manny Machado. Number 31 for Machado. The first run of the ball game comes here in the 7th.
RBI number 79 for Manny Machado. 31 home runs. He also has 18 stolen bases this season, and that is the game's first run with one swing of the bat. Looked like a cutter. Parra cuts that ball, stays up over the plate, and Machado puts a charge in at the center field.
Manny Machado, he doesn't have to pull it to hit it out. He can hit it out anywhere. He's a big, strong man. Number 31, he's got 79 ribbies. Pete Walker out to talk to Ryan Tepera, Liam Hendricks. Here's another guy that has really had a career season, making a dramatic contribution to this winning effort.
He has been outstanding. Blue Jays have a whole host of good arms down in that bullpen this year, and the numbers certainly show it.
So Machado has given Baltimore a 1-0 lead here in the 7th. Chris Davis, he pops it out of play. Davis has lined out twice to the first baseman, Matt Hood. Just like that, a line drive and home run for Chris Davis. For Davis, home run number 44, RBI number 111. Back-to-back home runs here in the 7th.
Orioles have a chance to have another player lead the league in home runs. Davis did it a couple of seasons ago. Ball got out of here quickly. That broke the tie with Nelson Cruz. He is now in the lead. That ball center cut in the middle. It's a line drive. I didn't think he got it up high enough to get it over the wall in deep right center field, but it just kept carrying and carrying out of here. He now leads the American League in home runs with 44.
Ryan Tepera is out of the ball game. Back-to-back home runs. He'll turn things over to Liam Hendricks here in the 7th. Still nobody out. inside the Blue Jays clubhouse for their celebration. The champagne is iced down. Everybody anxious to pop the corks and really get after a good celebration. They had a tempered celebration when they were secure the postseason berth. But now they are prepared for an all-out blowout. So make sure you stay tuned after this ball game.
Doesn't even look the same that it did a couple of hours ago. Liam Hendricks now into the ball game for the 57th time this season. Liam has had one heck of a year. Look at the record, the earned run average, the innings, and the strikeouts. 71 of them in 64 innings to go along with just 10 base on balls.
This ball is drilled to right off the glove of Carrera. Scope is headed for second. And Jonathan Scope jumps on the first pitch from Liam Hendricks and doubles.
Swinging early in the count, you picked up on that early in this ball game. The Orioles not wasting any time. Jonathan Scope sees the first fastball he likes. Carrera gets over there. Looks like he has a shot at it. He dives. It looked like it might have gone off Ezekiel's glove. And by the time Pompey runs that down, it's extra bases.
Scope had a double in 4 at-bats in game 1. This is his first hit in game 2. Matt Wieters takes it inside. For Scope, 2 doubles give him 16 for the season. Pickoff throw to second, and Jonathan Diaz quickly slapped the tag on Scope.
What a bad idea. Diaz just activated today. That's the daylight play. I'm going to just show you daylight. If you, as a pitcher, you see some daylight between me and that runner, just turn and throw it at the bag. I'll be there for you.
Now to Matt Wieters, the catcher. Wieters is 1 for 2. He singled in the second. He got the first hit of the game off R.A. Dickey. Dickey started and had a very good start. 5 innings, no runs on 2 hits. Ryan Tepera went an inning plus 2 batters. He was giving up the 2 runs. That was a strike. The Regulars getting game 2 off after they have sealed their fate here, winning the division. Wieters takes a ball inside and 2 men aboard. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership.
Well, that's why they were brought here, right? Josh Donaldson and Russell Martin, that last shot we saw there to help the Blue Jays get into the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, the experienced guys that have been to the postseason in the past. Change your sights and change your goals a little bit.
That's 5 straight years for Russell Martin in the playoffs.
It'll be his 8th year of his career. And again, he has gone from the Dodgers to the Yankees to the Pirates to the Blue Jays. Every time he has changed teams, he's gone to the postseason in the first year.
4 different organizations taking him to the playoffs. If you don't think this guy's a winner, you haven't been watching.
He's sitting next to Deanna Navarro, who's had a big impact in this team as well. I think Navarro can take a lot of credit for the development of Marco Estrada. And he's gotten some big hits for the ball club. He missed significant time. And you know what? Navarro had a terrific season last year as the everyday catcher, and he had to swallow his pride, and he has really done a terrific job of being a great teammate and a backup catcher for this ball club. There's a little looper that's going to drop in front of Pennington, and that'll load the bases. So the Orioles collected 4 hits here in this inning. There's still nobody out. John Gibbons out of the Blue Jays dugout. The bases are loaded. Ryan Flaherty, a left-handed hitter, is the scheduled batter, and Gibbons has made the call. Liam Hendricks is out. He didn't record enough. 2 hits and a walk. Aaron Loop will come on to get an opportunity against the left-handed hitting Ryan Flaherty.
Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Orioles have gotten on the board here in the 7th. Back-to-back home runs was started from Machado and Davis. Schoop had a double. Wieters a walk. Pierce a single. That was all off Hendricks. Tepera started the inning. Now Aaron Loop in to try to quiet things down here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Third pitcher of the inning for the Blue Jays. There are the numbers for Aaron Loop. This is an outing that Blue Jays might think about Aaron Loop maybe getting out of the problems here, maybe put him on the roster. There are still some questions that they might need a second left-hander, and Aaron might be that guy.
Well, the strategy has been disrupted a bit as Christian Walker's going to pinch hit for Ryan Flaherty. Walker, a young first baseman, coming on to pinch hit. Walker appeared in game 1. He struck out in the 8th inning against Marcus Stroman. Goes after the first pitch. The infield is in. I'm trying to save a run. It's a 2-0 ball game, and they're hopeful of getting the ball on the ground and coming to the plate. Pours that fastball right by Walker. It's 0-2.
Aaron's got good stuff. I mean, when you get into the playoffs and you're going to be facing some of those teams that have power hitting left-handers, you need a left-hander to negate that. And he's got a good breaking ball and enough fastball to get him by him. And he could be a valuable guy if they choose to put him on the roster.
Well, and 2, you'd like to have 2. Everybody knows what Brett Cecil can do. He's had a terrific season, but you'd like to have that second left-hander that can come into the game in a tough situation in 6th and get you out of that by facing a tough left-hander.
It's the 3rd time through the lineup. The starter can't get through that 3rd time. You might need that left-hander to come in this type of situation. There's a big strikeout right there on the changeup. You mentioned Brett Cecil. I was talking to a scout the other day, He scouts the American League. He says, I have not seen a left-hander in the American League as nasty as Brett Cecil has been this season.
Pete Walker was talking about Cecil to me yesterday, and he said, you know, he is throwing a two-seamer now, and the sinker has been a terrific pitch for him for righties and lefties. Plus his breaking ball, he understands now how to throw it for a strike and how to bury it to get a strikeout. And he has really done a terrific job. Lefties, righties, it doesn't make any difference for Brett Cecil.
No, not at all. He's just taking his game to the next level. But you're right, having somebody like Luke in front of Cecil could be valuable.
And gets in on the hands of J.J. Hardy. For instance, if they're playing the Yankees in the division series and you've got Brian McCann up there in a tough spot, a couple guys out in the sixth, you bring Loop in, try to get him out of the inning, and then he's done his job. And now you've got Cecil for 7th, 8th, and 9th in those situations.
Yes. Yeah. Pitch the starter, whoever it is, gets you through to the 6th inning. And there's 2 outs. And he's right-handed. You don't want that right-hander to face McCann for the 3rd time. This is the guy you might want right here.
And how about Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner, top of the order? Say you've been a tie game, close game, and they're leading off an inning. That type of situation. Cole Calhoun of the Angels.
Yeah, if it's the Angels.
Of course, then you have Prince Fielder with the Texas Rangers.
Moreland.
Sin-Shu Chu. Yeah. All of those different lefties are going to be the matchups that they will consider as to whether or not they add a second left-hander to the bullpen.
And that's what the meetings are going to be about. Alex Anthopoulos has brought in all of his front office staff to talk about that.
Hardy fouls it off. Well, Alex Anthopoulos has his core staff with him here. Tony LaCava, the assistant GM. Perry Munishin, the director of pro scouting. Andrew Chinish. Dana Brown, amateur scouting director, and all of the statistical analysts. And they have all shared in the celebration. Breaking ball. Full count now to J.J. Hardy. Luke would love to get a ground ball and get out of the situation. Leadoff man Nolan Reimold is on deck. Baltimore has taken a 2-0 lead on back-to-back home runs by Manny Machado and Chris Davis. Another foul back out of play. Ground ball. Base hit through the left side. Scopes in to score. They'll stop Wieters at third. J.J. Hardy with an RBI single.
He got the ground ball. He just couldn't get it right at somebody. I mean, you can't fault him right there. Did his job against a tough right-handed batter. You got the bases loaded with 1 out. You get the ground ball, but unfortunately it's wide enough from the third baseman that he can't knock it down, make a play, or start a double play. Right between Kawasaki and Diaz for an RBI single. Can't fault the pitcher there.
Got the ground ball. J.J. Hardy found a hole, his 36th RBI of the season. Nolan Reimold takes one inside. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Steve Delabar loosening up for the Blue Jays. Base hit. Waiters is in to score. Right behind him comes Pearson. They've got a big inning. Nolan Rymel goes down the right field line to drive home a pair. Waiters and Pierce score. J.J. Hardy goes to third. It's a 5-run inning.
How about this? 3-1, and he gets it by the first baseman. That easily could have been a double play, 2 right at somebody. 2 runs are going to score. Carrera gets the ball back in. And by then it's too late. Rymel has a 2-run double. Now the infield's got to come in.
Gerardo Parra will be the 9th Oriole to bat here in the 7th inning. Five runs on 6 hits this inning. Hendricks gives up 3 runs without recording an out.
Jumps his ERA up to 2.95. He also walked his 11th batter of the season.
Defensive swing from Parra, and he fouls it off.
Aaron creates such a tough angle for left-handed batters to pick the ball up. If he's got one of those sweeping breaking balls to a lefty, because it comes from down under, he steps over towards the first base line, and the angle that the ball is coming in towards home plate, if he could sweep that breaking ball, I think it could be very effective versus left-handed batters. This would be a great time to throw it. There it goes.
It's popped up. The infield was in. Pennington, left fielder, comes in to make the catch. As Luke got that sweeping breaking ball to Parra and gets the second out of the inning.
So tough to pick the ball up, number one, and then to stay in there if you're a left-handed batter on a pitch that's coming from basically from behind you.
Two outs, runners at second and third for Manny Machado, and he got it all started with a leadoff home run here in the 7th to dead center. It's tight inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Nice block by Tolley. That ball was destined to go back to the backstop, but Tolley kept it in front of him. Jonathan Diaz at short. Crosses to Matt Haig. That'll end the inning, but the Orioles score 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. A 5-0 lead.
Jays, and it's where you can vote for today's play of the game. You can do so by logging into sportsnet.ca and deciding what play you think is the top one so far today. Of course, we had the plays in Game 1, and I don't know if anything in Game 2, Buck, has compared to what we saw in Game number 1.
No, it's hard to fathom there's anything that's going to happen in this game that can compare to all of the offense the Blue Jays had. They had a couple of good defensive plays as well. Darwin Barney had a nice defensive game, but when you score 15 runs, defense is the last thing you think about. It was an offensive game for sure.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to make it the play of the day. And the play of the day is everybody running out to the field to celebrate the Blue Jays' first American League East Division championship. That's the play of the day.
No question about it. And the Blue Jays are enjoying Game 2. All the regulars getting Game 2 off. It'll be Josh Thole, Munenori Kawasaki, and Darwin Barney for the Blue Jays, as Kevin Gausman is having a terrific outing. Gausman has set a new career high with 9 strikeouts. Thole bounces it up the first baseline, and he'll be tagged out by Kevin Gausman. 1 down here in the 8th. Alex Anthopoulos in his 6th season as the senior vice president, baseball operations and general manager. And at the end of the game, he kissed his wife as they celebrated the first division championship. And you won't see Alex show too much emotion, but he was truly excited about his first division championship, and he should be. He and his staff did a terrific job of putting this team together and revamping it. They evaluated some needs. They went out and addressed those needs, and not only did they fill them in, but they filled them in with star players.
Yeah, and when I see that, when I see the happiness and the joy that he has after winning his first championship, his division championship, I think about the trade deadline and the stories that we read about Alex basically not sleeping for 2 straight days trying to get those trades and getting the players over here.
Kawasaki strikes out. That's 10 strikeouts for Gausman. You know, Brian Cashman acknowledged that when he talked about the Josh Donaldson trade. Cashman, the GM of the Yankees, said, you know, I talked to Billy Beane about trading Josh Donaldson, and he said no, he wasn't going to trade him. So I tip my cap, is what Cashman said, to Alex Anthopoulos, because he never gave up. He was persistent. He kept calling up Billy Beane saying, are you sure you don't want to trade him? Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. And finally, he was able to convince Billy Beane to make the trade, and what a difference that has made.
Yeah, it took him 4 players. He had to give up 4 players to get Josh Donaldson, but you make that trade every day for what he brought. And then the David Price, I think it was what time in the morning that they finally put that thing together? 2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, and it was really interesting, and that's the same case with the Tulowitzki trade. I remember hearing the Blue Jays acquired Troy Tulowitzki, and my first thought was, is that the Tulowitzki that played in Colorado?
Or does he have a brother who's playing somewhere else, right?
And David Price, you mean that big, tall left-hander that used to pitch for Tampa Bay? I mean, it was the same reaction I had when I heard David Cohn was coming to the Blue Jays back in the 90s. David Cohn, there's 2 David Cohns. We couldn't have got the Mets David Cohn. But he didn't. Darwin Barney puts a charge in it to left field, and that ball is gone. Darwin Barney with a home run. His second hit of the night. He's had a nice doubleheader here today.
It's unfortunate, but he can't be on the playoff roster. So he is showing the Blue Jays what he can do. Flawless in the field. Got a base hit in the first game, and now he uncorks his first Blue Jay homer here in game number 2. That that ball got out of here in a hurry.
Boy, that was a low line drive. That's Barney's 20th major league home run. His first as a Blue Jay.
Gausman fell behind 3-0, threw a strike, and then had to come back in there with a fastball, and Darwin was ready.
Jonathan Diaz turning on that inside pitch. Darwin Barney had a career-high 7 home runs in 2012 and 2013 for the Cubs. Barney won his Gold Glove in 2012, played 156 games for Chicago.
.99 miles an hour. Told you he's got a good arm. Wow, that was his 95th pitch of the night.
It's a perfect evening to pitch. It's a cool evening. It's cooled off dramatically from the first game.
I mean, he almost hit triple digits on his 95th pitch of the night.
That home run upset him. Blue Jays hit 3 home runs in game 1. That home run, the first of this game. They are on the board. It's 5-1. This is the 3rd doubleheader the Blue Jays have played this season. They split the doubleheader in Washington first week of June, and then they swept the Yankees in New York. Machado throws out Jonathan Diaz. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell. Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, if you were paying attention about 5 minutes ago, you saw our drive of the game. Darwin Barney with a 3-1 fastball. He's going to turn on it. Kevin Gausman's throwing upper 90s, and that says from Darwin Barney, no problem. I can do that. I can hit that. Drops it in that first row for his first Blue Jay homer in our drive of the game.
Darwin Barney was sitting home in Oregon. He had just finished up his season in AAA Oklahoma City. Got the call from the Blue Jays saying, hey, we want you to join our ball club for the month of September. And I have to imagine he's enjoyed himself watching this team wrap up a pennant. He's played some games at second base and done a nice job. This game here tonight, his 5th start at second base. He had a hit in game 1 and has a home run here in game 2.
Now taking over, Steve Delabar for the 31st time this season. Delabar up and down this year. Came back up after rosters were expanded on September the 1st. We'll get an inning here against the Orioles.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Davis hit his 44th home run in the 7th. That gives him the lead in the American League in that department. The National League leaders, Nolan Arenado and Bryce Harper, they both have 41 home runs. Carlos Gonzalez has 40. Davis with 44, Nelson Cruz with 43, Josh Donaldson with 41, Mike Trout and Jose Bautista now with 40 home runs.
I think Trout hit one today. I think he hit his 41st home run in that ball game. This might be another one.
Ball to right. This one's going to go back into the seats, way back in center. Second home run of the game for Chris Davis. That'll get him 45 for the season.
That is one strong baseball player right there, Chris Davis. He is a free agent at the end of the season. It's the same Chris Davis who in 2013 had 53 home runs. Fell down to 26 last season, and he's back in the home run group this year. 2 more tonight.
His 30th and 31st of his career against the Blue Jays. Jonathan Schoop. He drives this ball deep to center. This ball is off the wall. Schoop is headed for second with his second double of the game, third of the doubleheader.
Schoop is not waiting around very long. His at-bats, that's 3 times that he has come up and hit the first pitch, lined out to third base, 1 time doubled to right center. Now he's going to double again. First of all, the home run looked like a splitter that stayed over the middle of the plate, and you can see that natural uppercut from Chris Davis is so strong to dead center field.
He's a very good low ball hitter. Drives this one deep to right. A 2-run home run for Wieters.
Orioles striking quickly. Last inning, they opened up the 7th inning with a couple of home runs. One by Machado, one by Davis. Then it went double walk single before the Blue Jays finally put out the fire. Doing the same thing here in the 8th inning. Striking quickly. Home run Davis, double home run Matt Wieters. That looked like another first pitch fastball right down the middle. And Wieters has been hot. Second hit in this ball game.
His 8th home run of the season has made it an 8-1 game. Steve Pearce takes a strike. It's 1-1. Orioles have hit 4 home runs. 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. That splitter is fouled up.
This is just a typical Blue Jays-Orioles game, isn't it?
They have averaged 11.5 runs a game all season long. Two balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. We're in the 8th. Chad Jenkins starting to loosen up. Jenkins has not pitched since he was recalled here in September. That's going to be foul. Kawasaki dives to his left, gets to his feet, and throws out Steve Pearce. Nice play at third by Kawasaki.
He made a couple of nice plays here tonight. Caught a line drive, then came in on a ball and made a nice play. This time he's going to leave his feet. This ball looked like it was destined to go into the outfield. But Mooney flags it down with a dive, and then finishes off with a throw to first base.
That angle gives you a good idea of how much ground these ball players have to cover to make plays like that. Went a long way to his left. This is David Lowe. He entered the game defensively. Top of the 8th inning. This is his first at-bat. Lowe started in center field in game 1. He was 1 for 3 in that ball game with a strikeout. Don't forget, after this game, we'll have extended coverage from Baltimore as the Blue Jays will celebrate their division championship. Barry Davis and Hazel May will go into the clubhouse to cover the celebration, get interviews, and get some player reaction from this 2015 championship. You can see that the clubhouse crew is getting everything ready. They're getting their championship shirts ready to pass out at the conclusion of this game. They will have hats that reflect the fact that they are the division champs, and everybody's anxious to celebrate. Bellemare delivers a strike. Ari Dickey was the starter in this game and pitched very well. 5 innings of shutout ball, allowed just 2 hits, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 3. J.J. Hardy had an RBI single in the 7th, part of that 5-run 7th inning. Marco Estrada and Marcus Stroman, 2 of the starters in the rotation, have enjoyed a lot of success this year. Marcus Stroman 4-0 in his September starts.
Talk about the front office having to make decisions. Where do you pitch him? That's something that they're going to have to talk about. I know what I would do.
What would you do?
He'd be pitching game 2.
Stroman?
In the playoffs. I mean, he has passed every test that we have seen in September. He has pitched against some pretty good offensive teams, and he has handled them. So,
if you didn't know the story and you watched him pitch in September, you would assume he was healthy all year. Pompey gets back and makes a nice running catch to take a hit away from J.J. Hardy. The Orioles score 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Will go to the 9th. Baltimore with an 8-1 lead, but the Blue Jays, they've already won the division.
Everyday low price of $24.99 a month. Modem rental or purchase required. Ask about our other plans that deliver the fastest internet speed to the most Canadians. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today. Earlier on, guys, we spoke to Ryan Goins, who watched the Orioles celebrate last year. Well, 2 years ago, Kevin Pillar was a call-up with the Blue Jays, and when the Boston Red Sox clinched in front of them, while all the other teammates had gone into the clubhouse, he said he sat in the dugout and he watched the Red Sox celebrate. He thought to himself, I want that. I want to be that. And he told me today that this has been on his mind as they got ready to clinch today, that he really wants to be a part of it. And he's been thinking about it since seeing the Red Sox celebrate 2 years ago. Yeah, once you see somebody enjoy a championship firsthand, it sticks with you. And you want to enjoy that yourself. This is Michael Gibbons, a St. Armor. Blue Jays saw him earlier, and they were impressed. He threw the ball very well against them. Pompey grounds to the first baseman. Steve Pearce steps on the bat. One out. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed in Amonka Osmat. Thank you very much, Ken. And Ken and Ivanka will have all of that for you right after this ball game. And we will have extended coverage from the clubhouse by Barry Davis and Hazel May. Make sure you stay tuned for all of that. We get a lot of player reaction about their first championship, what they expect. Justin Smoak had another big game in game one. Smoak hit a 2-run home run in the 9th inning, his 18th of the season. Cliff Pennington, the left fielder, in game two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pennington was picked up by Alex Anthopoulos to shore up the middle infield defense, and it's been a nice pickup.
Yeah, he's been a very nice little pickup. He's won a couple of games, I think, all by himself for the Blue Jays. If you remember that series, that big series against the Yankees back at Yankee Stadium, he made a great play defensively, I thought, with the bases loaded, and Greg Bird was at the plate, snared a ball late in the game in a tie game. And then he also homered in game 2.
Homered in game 2, a 2-run home run in game 2, part of that 6-run second inning. The hits a ball 4.
Yeah, I like what Alex Anthopoulos did at the trade deadline, and there were some trades that went under the radar, if you will. Pennington was one of them. How about the Ben Revere trade? Gave up a couple of kids. There's Alex and his gang. Gave up a couple of kids for Revere, and Revere's turned into a really nice ball player.
Boy, he sure has. He's been a great fit defensively in left field. They had a lot of concerns. But how about Revere getting a couple more hits today? He has 56 hits since August 19th, the most in the majors. Ezekiel Carrera had a ground rule double in the 7th, but he was doubled off when he forgot how many outs there were. Doubled off on the pop-up by Matt Pig. Josh Donaldson's getting all set for the post-game celebration. He's a veteran of celebrations. He's done this before with Oakland.
I like the goggles. Blue Jays get a chance to wear the goggles.
Back-to-back walks after 1 out issued by Michael Gibbons. Chris Colabello has gone 0 for 3 in game 2. Colabello's had some big hits over the course of the season for the Blue Jays. He had a home run in the 12th inning down in St. Petersburg to beat Tampa Bay 1-0. Had a walk-off hit at Rogers Center against Houston.
He had a game winner in Minnesota.
Hit a 2-run home run off Glenn Perkins late in that ball game.
He had the eventual game winner in the game. I think the only game they won in Seattle before they came home and went on to this nice little run that they have been on.
Marco Estrada has enjoyed a career season, getting an opportunity. He moved into the starting rotation on May 5th, and then Jose Bautista, Russell Martin. How about this? A couple of junior college teammates enjoying a division championship here. Their first time united here with the Blue Jays. They both played college baseball at Chipola Junior College in Marianna, Florida, and they were teammates, and they have made full circle, once again reunited here with the Blue Jays.
We just saw somebody else from Chipola. Who was that the other day? I mean, a small school, but they've sent a lot of players to the big leagues.
Pulled foul. The coaches certainly enjoying an opportunity to watch their players celebrate. R.A. Dickey will enjoy the postseason for the first time, and he had a great second half to his season. He'll finish up 8-1 for the second half. He'll have another opportunity in the postseason for the first time. Alvaro strikes out on the high heater. John Gibbons, you can bet he's reflecting on a lot of things over the course of his second stint with the Blue Jays as their manager. And this team at the end of July at 500. Nobody expected too much as far as a dramatic turnaround, and it couldn't be a more dramatic turnaround than what the Blue Jays have done. 47-19 since the All-Star break coming into this game.
Kept thinking when they were plodding right along at 500, were the games that they were losing going to cost them in September, August and September? I mean, they were losing some games that I thought they certainly should have won.
Bouncing ball, J.J. Hardy will flip to second, and that's the ball game. The Orioles win game 2, but the Blue Jays are headed to the clubhouse. No one's concerned about the loss in game 2. Everybody is anxious to celebrate. Hazel May and Barry Davis will join the club inside as they will go in to acknowledge the championship, their division title. John Gibbons will lead the way. The Blue Jays getting their division championship T-shirts and hats, and this has been an unusual way to celebrate.